carrots are super easy to peel. Like I see a lot of people struggling with it and they're like peeling and there's like carrot peels flying all over the place. It drives me nuts. It's totally unnecessary. Like all you really need to do to chop a carrot is peel it straight down. So we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna chop off the ends to give us 2 stable ends. Throw our bits in the trash bowl. Move this over. Got our carrot sitting like that. It's pretty stable. It's stable right here, stable on the board as well. It's not wobbling around like, you know, because it's got a rounded end. Got our carrot here, and we are just going to peel straight down and turn it as we go. All the way down the carrot. Oop, missed a spot. Down. And all of our carrot peels are landing on the board instead of flying all over the place, which is super annoying. We've got our carrots peeled like with zero drama. It took like 5 seconds. You know, like when you peel carrots like this, there's like little bits flying all over the place. Like you get these little guys that are super obnoxious. Like there's really no reason for that. Like it's done, right? If you peel down at the board, they really only have one direction to go, and that's down. So your basic cut for a carrot is just a round, right? It's a round carrot. So we're gonna cut rounds. So the thing about carrots is they're really long. We've got our hand and a claw. We've got our knife held like in the proper position, thumb right here, forefinger right here. And we're just gonna cut this guy in half because when they're long and unwieldy, it's kind of annoying. So we're gonna move this guy aside and we're gonna start from here. So chopping is super easy. So first you just need to decide how big you want your carrots. So we're gonna do like 1/4 inch rounds. We're gonna go chop, chop, chop. And again, I've got my hands in the claw and I'm cutting against my knuckles. I'm never moving up above that, so my fingers are not in danger. Like I'll be fine, I'm not gonna cut my fingers off because my fingers are nowhere near the blade and I'm using my fingers to guide the knife. I'm just moving it back a little bit with every chop. And I've got my carrots. And those are just like basic little rounds. Ta-da. Now, another really good way to cut carrots that I like, it's basically cutting on the bias. So you got a carrot, and we're gonna cut off a piece of it, and I'm gonna toss it. Actually, I will eat that, I'm not gonna toss it, it's fine. And what you do is you have this like little, I guess like a slant, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're going to cut back and forth like this. And we're basically making little carrot pyramids. Now this is really handy. Like you can see here how they look like little carrot pyramids. These look really good. This is really handy if you're roasting like a chicken, right? And you're just gonna set your chicken up on top of your vegetables. These, if you set a chicken on top of these, a roast chicken on top of these, like it's gonna cover them and they're not gonna cook. And the underside of your chicken's not gonna cook either because it's pretty much on the bottom of the pan, right? With these guys, it's actually raising up whatever you put on top of them. I like to cook. I also think they're just fun to eat like this. I think they're fun to eat. I think they have like a good texture in your mouth. They're like a substantial bite of carrot. I think they look really good too. We have another method for cutting carrots, and that is cutting them on the bias. And this actually creates more surface area. So if you're sauteing them, like this is a fair amount of surface area, right? Like that's a normal carrot round. But when you're sauteing something or browning it, you want as much surface area in contact with the pan as possible. So there's a way to extend the surface area of every slice of carrot, and that's to cut it on the bias. And that's cutting it at a slight angle. And I'll show you why we do this. So I've got a couple slices. So if you look at the difference in surface area, it's huge, right? Now, for sure, this is like a thicker part of the carrot, but I'm gonna compare really quickly just a really flat piece of carrot, like a really standard slice cut. Look at the amount of surface area. Like there's a big difference. This is substantially longer. Like we're gonna do another one at a slant, get rid of that, and I'm gonna show you again. Like the surface area is huge, right? This piece of carrot was cut only a ½ inch away from this piece of carrot. And the amount of surface area on this guy, the difference is incredible. So this piece of carrot is gonna have way more skin in contact with the pan. This is gonna brown much more because it's got more browning. It's gonna taste better when you saute it. So we're gonna clean off our workspace. I have some little bowls over here to hold all these bits and pieces. Remember, we have to keep our workspace clean in order to keep from cutting ourselves. A clean workspace is super important. We're gonna set these off to the side, put this guy off to the side. I'll deal with you later. I've got this carrot that's already been peeled. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to cut a carrot in half. I'm gonna chop off the ends because the ends are a little dried out. I peeled this carrot earlier. You can see it's got a little bit drying on the surface. This is why I don't like to cut carrots ahead or slice carrots ahead of time or peel carrots ahead of time. They tend to dry out. And if you slice them ahead of time, you'll notice they'll actually start to curl up or down as they dry out. So if you can, try to cut carrots as close to the time you're going to use them as possible. Or if you're going to cut them ahead of time, which I totally get, which is why I peeled this guy ahead of time. I wanted to save time. What you can do is you can actually wrap these in a damp paper towel that's been really wringed out, so it's not really wet, but just a little damp. Wrap them in a damp paper towel, put them in like a Ziploc bag or a plastic container, and then just put them in the fridge for a little while. So when it comes to cutting carrots, like you'll see this guy is kind of wobbly, right? Now, we don't really want that so much. So what I like to do is I like to just shave off, literally shave off just like a hair, right? Like that is not very much carrot, right? It's like a fraction of an inch. And that gives us a very stable surface. Like that carrot's not going to go anywhere now. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice this carrot in half this way. Now we can use the whole knife and go straight down, but for really long carrots, like you're going to miss part of it, it kind of wobbles all over the place. I don't like to teach people that way when they're just beginning because it increases the chances of cutting yourself. So you push the whole knife down and the carrot goes burp. And like if you're not paying attention, part of your finger is in the way and it's no bueno. So I'm going to show you kind of a beginner's way for slicing a carrot in half. We're going to start in the middle. We're going to go straight down and we're going to very carefully guide the knife back towards the center part of the base of the carrot. And we're going to go all the way down. Now we've got like a half sliced carrot, right? And we're just going to do the same on the other side. Like as you get more adept at knife skills, absolutely go ahead and cut your carrot in one fell swoop. But until then, like take the extra step and be safe and cut them this way. And those look great. Now, another really good way to cut carrots if you're roasting them, this is a great way to do it, but say you want them a little thinner, like say you have these like monster carrots and like really big carrots take a long time to cook. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna blade them on their flat side so they're stable and we're gonna slice them a second time right down the middle. And since this carrot is now stable, it's not gonna go anywhere, we're in a much better position to just slice it all the way down the carrot. But as you can see, the knife isn't quite long enough. So we're just gonna turn this guy around, catch that little tail end, and slice him open. And now we have 2 carrot full-length quarters. So we're gonna do the same thing to this guy, because I actually have a plan for this carrot. Later on, I'm gonna show you how to make a mirepoix. I wanna give you something to do with all these extra vegetables. So I'm gonna show you how to make a classic mirepoix, which is a base of flavor using carrots, celery, and onions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy, we've got them down into quarters. We want to chop him into relatively small pieces. Now we want, ideally, all the pieces of the carrot to be about the same size. Sometimes that's realistic, sometimes that's not. But that's the goal, right? So try to be as close as you can to same size. And over time, you'll get better at it and it will get easier. So we're going to do like 1/2 inch slices all the way down. And again, I've got my hand in the claw, I'm holding the knife properly with my thumb and forefinger, and I'm chopping against my knuckles. And so the blade is nowhere near my fingertips. We're gonna move these up, move these out of the way because we don't want to clutter our workspace. We're gonna line these back up. We're gonna use our knife as a guide to line them up. Oop, get rid of that little bit right there. Line them up using the knife as a guide. And we're gonna keep chopping in 1/2 inch slices. And what we're gonna end up with are just these kind of like chopped carrots, right? And this is what we're gonna use in the mirepoix. We could use the mirepoix as the base for a soup. We can use it as the base for a sauce. We can use it as a base for anything delicious, really. There we go. And we've got our chopped carrots. Ta-da!